Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a while. Today I've finally got my hearing back. It seems we may have had COVID 3 years down the line. We did a lot of ferrying about for people during COVID, shopping and various things, and completely avoided it. And then seems 2 weeks ago it was our turn, so there you go. So today I've finally got my hearing back, so I thought give you a bit of an update. So the Honda, as you already know from previous videos, we've chopped it, welded this in. There's some welding to do, braces and various things, but it's piecing together while I was dying of illness. I've got the speedo in place, so that's done, and it actually sits quite neat with the handlebars. Put those down. It's one-handed. Yes, and those are in. I think that's going to be quite smart. So that's where we're up to with LCV 250. The Harley, the wheels are with Stafford Wheel Works. GoPro let me down when I went to drop the wheels off. I went to a bit of a chat with Joe over at Stafford Wheel Works. Absolutely fantastic bloke, really. I think we had a good chat for about an hour or so while I was dropping the wheels off. So he's currently got both wheels from mine and the wheels from Luke's, and also some wheels for Tom's TW125, which is a whole other subject. So this is sitting, feeling a bit sorry for itself over here. Also got the headlight to replace, which is on the shelf over there. So we get that done. Then there's a lot of dust. And I'm having almost daily conversations, I think it is, with Luke about some exciting engine-based things, and we're just trying to bottom out how far we're going to go and what's reasonable, what's going to make it still a usable road bike, and all those sorts of things. Obviously, me being me, I want to go beyond. He's being a bit more metered, and probably should be a bit more like that to make it a usable road bike. The idea of silly horsepower on that bike could be interesting. This has all come as result of owning the bobber. So when I bought the bobber, the Harley was already on hiatus in the back of the garage because I had the other Triumph Scrambler on the road at the same time as the regular ride. But in selling the bobber, I got this back out, and once you've been at that level, the 1200, that level of torque and that horsepower, going back to 48 horsepower and yeah, a heavier bike just isn't enough. So let me know what you think in the comments. Actually, should we stick with it? As I was not going to stay at 48 horsepower, but we got some options. We can be at like 70, 80 horsepower, somewhere there. Or we can go really silly and push to 100 or plus. So let me know what you think. And no, Derek, I'm not gonna sell it or burn it or scrap it or anything of that nature. Then we get to the crux of the matter. So in October last year, I actually forgot that I'd done this. In October last year, I got in touch with the people that organised the Staffordshire Classic motorcycle show, and I said, I have got a 1970 BSA derived oil-in frame with a B44 Victor Special engine that has got a PES built crank with a CCM rod, forged piston, is it JE piston? Can't remember. Came from EV engineering anyway. Silly high compression, big valve cylinder head, basically CCM spec 441. In this garish 70s setup as a replica of the bike from the Bike Magazine article, which I've mentioned in the walk around video, which if you haven't seen, it's on the channel. Go and have a look for that. You can actually hear the thing. So in this particular edition of Bike Magazine, May 1978, it's mad I know exactly where to turn to. It's just after this page. There is this article, and this young man here happens to be my dad, as you can see here. And yeah, in 1978 he sold his Triumph Bonneville complete motorcycle whilst on a ban, I think, a drink driving ban. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And used that money to buy the genuine article, a CCM 550 Pro Forma motor. He bought it as a 4-speed. It was a 1 up 3 down, fully fin barrel, as you can see there. Came direct from CCM with a Lucas, I want to say Rita ignition, but I might be wrong there. And he built this bike then, and he only had it for 18 months, 2 years after he built it, and it blew up and various other things. He lost it for a few days. There's a whole load of stories behind this that, nearest to the time of what I'm talking about now, I'm going to have a sit down with him and we can talk about it. But anyway, I let the guys that arranged the Stafford Classic motorcycle show that I had this bike, and I built this, God, 8 years ago now. Or started building it 8 years ago. Explained about the magazine and completely forgot about it. 6 months had gone by and I got an email a couple of weeks ago, last week rather, to say that the bike would be very welcome and will be on a space, on display in the main hall of the Stafford Classic Motorcycle Show. Now, there's a couple of things about that are a bit unnerving. So, obviously most people are aware of what's gone on in the last 12 months or so. Everything is okay, but as a brief update for the people that were concerned or sent very good, nice messages, good messages, not good English, very nice messages of support and love for my dad's situation with renal cancer. We thought we were in the clear, and then it came to light at the 6-month scan back in November that he had some issues on the one remaining kidney that he had left. We've been through the mill with that, and it's okay, basically. It wasn't looking particularly promising, and then the beginning of February, I think it was, they finally agreed a course of treatment, and they believe they've dealt with them. We're rolling up for the scan in 2 months, I think it is. And then after 6 months, all those sorts of things. Anyway, it's too much detail. But basically, he thought he was okay, then he wasn't. Now we think he's okay, but we don't know. So, the idea behind this bike means the absolute world, and it's a solid connection we have. And to go back to the Stafford Classic show, so from when I can't even remember, but year on year religiously I went with my dad and his very good friend George, who taught me one hell of a lot about engineering and motorcycles, and between the two of them, they are the reason that I do all of this, and ultimately then how this channel exists and all those sorts of things. So George doesn't go to the shows anymore. I mean, he's 80. I'm probably being really rude now. He's in his senior years, to put it nicely. So he doesn't go to the Stafford show, and me and my dad, we go. We've been most years, but it's on and off. We only really go if we've got a project on or a reason to go. But we would always go every year to the April and the October show and walk around and listen to them argue about the originality of motorcycles, and there's a whole load of stories behind that as well. And George saying, well, where's your dad now? Where's your dad got to? And the different things. An old married couple they were. So that's why that show particularly means something personally to me. And to have this on display, I've never done this before. There's been some discussions going back and forth because Martin and Emily are of the belief because it's going to a show, it can be trailered there. I don't think that's the case. I think this bike needs to ride to that show. That's the be all and end all of this. So I did a video about 12 months ago about getting this running because it had stood for 12 months. I got it running, and then guess what? It has stood for 12 months. So I need to get this in a position where it can run and ride again. It's got brand new tyres on it. I know the front wheel's got to come out because the front brake is sticky, so we're only getting real braking action on one side of the twin leading tube. I know the throttle, it's right at the moment, but it has been a little bit sticky, so I've got that to sort out. And it needs a damn good clean. Everything is just, you can hear that. It's tarnished up and it's covered in dust. I know it's got a bit of an oil leak, but we're not going to be messing with that. But this needs going through, cleaning, and it needs to be bright as a button for that show. So I'm not saying I'm putting anything on hold. I'm going to carry on the Honda when I've got parts and metal, and when the wheels come for the Harley we'll be doing that. But the focus has to be, given that the Stafford show is in April, the focus has to be getting this sorted. So that's my plan. Obviously not going to do that now, but I just wanted to let you know. This is where we're up to. Also ongoing is the Triumph T140 engine. It's all timed up now. Barrels are on. We need to get that done really. There's just bits everywhere. I've got bits of Luke's bike. I've got hubs for the front of the Honda, 21-inch wheel in, and all sorts. But BSA is the focus. So that's what's going to be happening. Yeah, it's kind of where we're at. That was a bit more emotional than I thought it was going to be, but never mind. Thank you for watching, guys. I haven't gone anywhere. It's just been a rough period of time that really doesn't matter to any of you, but there we have it. That's where we're at. Look out for the next one.